The Lighthouse Mystery, a tale of ghostly sailors. At the edge of a jagged coastal cliff where relentless waves crash against the rocks stood an old lighthouse. The locals avoided the place, calling it the Lighthouse of Silent Souls. Once, it was a beacon of hope for sailors, guiding them away from danger. Now, it was a symbol of despair, its light extinguished, and whispers of death carried by the ocean breeze. No one knew exactly what had happened there, but tales of strange lights and voices emanating from the lighthouse passed from one generation to the next, ensuring the place remained shrouded in mystery. Samuel was a struggling writer searching for inspiration. His books had stopped selling, and his publisher demanded something shocking and fresh to revive his career. Hearing a story about the cursed lighthouse in a local bar, he decided to investigate. He rented a room in a weathered inn overlooking the coast, determined to spend a few days collecting material. Samuel believed the legends of the lighthouse were just fabricated tales, but they were precisely the kind of stories he needed for his next book. That first night, Samuel was awakened by an unusual noise. Peering out of his window, he saw a faint, flickering light atop the lighthouse. He frowned. Wasn't the lighthouse supposed to be abandoned? Assuming it was just a trick of the moonlight, he went back to bed. The next day, he visited the tavern and asked the locals about the lighthouse. The chatter in the room died immediately. Only one elderly man, his face etched with deep wrinkles and his hands worn from years at sea, agreed to talk. "That lighthouse, son, is a cursed place," he began, puffing on his pipe. "They say the captain of an old ship, the Siren, swore to save his crew, but when the storm hit, the light in the tower went out. The ship wrecked, and every soul aboard perished. Since then, their spirits wander the waters looking for their captain. Those who venture too close hear the wind whisper their name." The old man continued, his voice heavy with conviction. The captain of the Siren had steered his ship through a fierce storm, relying on the lighthouse to guide them to safety. But for reasons unknown, the light went dark that night. The ship struck the submerged rocks and the entire crew drowned in the icy waters. It's said that the captain cursed the lighthouse in his final moments, blaming it for the deaths of his men, before throwing himself into the raging sea. Since then, anyone who approached the lighthouse too closely claimed to hear voices carried on the wind, calling them by name. Unable to resist his curiosity, Samuel decided to visit the lighthouse. Armed with a flashlight and a recorder, he made his way along the overgrown path to the tower. As he approached, his heartbeat quickened. The lighthouse loomed above him, its darkened windows seeming to watch his every move. Inside, the air was damp and musty. The walls were streaked with mold, and a suffocating silence enveloped him. His footsteps echoed ominously as he climbed the spiral staircase, each creak of the rusted metal sending shivers down his spine. At the top, he found the old lighthouse lantern covered in dust. As he reached out to touch it, it flared to life, flooding the room with light. In the eerie glow, ghostly figures of sailors began to emerge, their faces twisted in agony, their eyes hollow and accusing. "Me," he thought angrily. "It was me too. Help us," a raspy voice whispered. It was the captain. His spectral form materialized before Samuel, his expression filled with a mix of anger and despair. The captain explained that the lighthouse was cursed, its light extinguished by betrayal. The only way to break the curse was to reveal the truth of what happened that fateful night. In one of the lighthouse's forgotten rooms, Samuel found a weathered journal. Its final entries revealed that the lighthouse keeper, driven by jealousy and rage, had deliberately extinguished the light, condemning the crew of the Siren to their doom. As Samuel read the journal aloud, the spectral sailors began to fade, their anguished cries dissipating into the night. But when Samuel tried to leave the lighthouse, the door slammed shut behind him. At dawn, the locals found his body at the base of the lighthouse. His face was frozen in an expression of terror, and in his hands he clutched the journal tightly. Since that day, the lighthouse has been shrouded in even darker rumors. Its light has been seen flickering again during stormy nights, and the whispers of ghostly sailors have grown louder. Now, Samuel's spirit is said to have joined the cursed crew, forever bound to the lighthouse and its tragic history.